What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Andy, and I am just out here trying to live simply, make money, and help others do the same. Today I wanted to make a quick video about how to start a business with zero or little capital. Let's get straight into it. Number one, connect hungry people with people who sell food. Simply put, become the middleman. A good example of this is my own business, Izulu. Izulu is an online marketplace. We allow other people to sell their products on our platform. We do not have our own products. That means that we did not have to have capital to buy products or invest in stock upfront. We did obviously have to build the platform, pay for hosting, those sorts of things, which is still a capital investment, but that is substantially cheaper than investing in stock. I'm not saying do the exact same thing, I'm just saying follow the principle. If you cannot afford to buy stock to sell something you want to sell, then figure out how you can become the middleman between someone who has the stock and someone else who wants to buy that stock, if that makes sense. So connect people who are hungry with people who sell food. Number two, start with services. When I talk to people about starting businesses, my advice is always to monetize the skills that you already have. So think about what services that you can offer to people for free, right? So if you're a designer, that is something that you can do for free. You don't necessarily need to invest in anything. You don't need capital to be able to start designing stuff for people, because that's a skill you already have. You might need software, but these days you can access software like Canva that is also free. So think about what skills you have that will allow you to provide a service for people. If you are an accountant, then you can start consulting and providing accounting services to people without needing capital, because that's a skill you already have. If you are a video editor, you can start editing people's videos for free because you already have that skill. By the way, if you're a video editor, please hit me up, because editing videos is a lot. Start with services. Start with the skill that you already have that you can start utilizing to provide a service for others. Number three, build partnerships. Now, this is something good to do whether you have capital or not, because collaborating and partnering with people is a good thing in life and in business anyway. But a good thing to do if you are limited in the funds that you have is to build partnerships with other people. I'll give you a good example of that about a recent project that I did, where I formed a consortium with some friends of mine who had various skills. We came together so that we could run a project together, right? So we had a video editor this side, we had someone with branding experience this side, and we had a coder this side. Because everyone had those skills, all the skills that were necessary for the project or for the work that we had received, there was no reason to then go spend money to be able to complete the job and do the service. We were able to do a service, do a job without having to put up money to be able to do that job, by sort of forming a consortium and partnering together. And that's a kind of a principle that I've used for years. A lot of my friends who freelance or have businesses, we've been doing that amongst each other for years. So someone who's in PR gets social media work, they throw it to someone who does social media. The social media person gets PR radio work, they throw it to the radio person. It's just a good way to work because it minimizes costs for you as the person who is getting the work. You don't have to subcontract or figure out how to do that, or buy software, or invest in things that you don't have money for as a small business owner. But it's also just more efficient because you're giving that work, or part of that work, to people who already know how to do it better than you. So building partnerships is key. Fourth, you need to master negotiation skills. Now, take this one with a grain of salt. Well, my belief, because my first boss used to say to me, if you haven't negotiated 3 times on one thing, then you haven't negotiated enough. I don't believe in that philosophy. I think definitely you should negotiate. Often what we get is not what we could have gotten, right? Often most people are willing, have leeway. However, I also do believe that you should give people what they deserve, right? I don't think you should cheat people, is the thing for me. So I do believe in negotiating, but I also believe in being fair. So that's my disclaimer before getting into this point. But my point is also to master negotiation skills. Often the amount or the number that people present is usually not the number that they actually are willing to land at. And if we ask, it shall be given. Ask and you will receive. A good principle to lean on in business is always to ask if, hey, is there some leeway here? If your supplier is telling you, hey, 10 Rand a t-shirt, ask them, hey, if I get 5 t-shirts, can you give it to me for 7 Rand a t-shirt? Usually they'll say yes. Learn to ask, it doesn't hurt. Number 5, focus on what you need and not what you want. And I think that the whole social media pressure comes into play with this one, because when we think about starting a business, entrepreneurship, we think, hey, now I need to go sit in Starbucks with my MacBook Air and iPhone and whatever, and all of those things are nice to have. They can make running businesses easier, but they are definitely not necessary. And so I think it's important, if you're starting out anyway, even if you do have capital, I think it's just smart to think about what it is you actually need and what you just want, because it would be nice to have, and really stick to the things that you need and not the nice to haves. And maybe what you can do is sort of set reward targets for yourself. So if you reach a certain point in your business, then you can buy something. You can buy your MacBook Air or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I've seen it a lot. People will start YouTube channels and they think they need to get a MacBook to start a channel, which is not true, or they need to get an iPhone so they can shoot, which is not true, or they need to get a camera, which is not true, or great lighting, which is not true. And people just spend a lot of money up front, so you 20k deep on something that hasn't yielded anything for you yet. It doesn't make sense, honestly. So think about what it is you really need. So if you're going YouTube and that's something you want to invest in as a stream of income for you in the future, all you need is lights. The sun gives this to us every day. You need a phone with a camera. Most phones have cameras. Doesn't need to be an iPhone. Doesn't need to be a Canon camera. And you need books to hold the phone up. And you need an app on your phone to be able to edit. So yeah, I think a good principle, even if you have the money, is just to think about what you need and not what you want. The 6th thing that you can do if you are wanting to start a business but have little to no capital is you can sell your knowledge online. You can teach online, you can create a course online, you can do seminars online, you can create content online. I'm in the process of creating a course on e-commerce, a whole program, in fact, with 3 courses under the program, and that's something I'm going to sell online as an additional stream of income. If you have a specialized pool of knowledge on a specific topic or on something that you know people want to learn about, then you can do the work to create that into a course, or make that into a course, or make that into content that people can consume, and you can sell that online. All that takes is just time to write those things out, do your research, make sure you're giving people the right knowledge that will help them, make sure that stuff is actually good knowledge and valuable and worth selling to people, and then Bob's your uncle. So the investment that is needed there is really just time and the knowledge in your head and in Google. And lastly, you need to be willing to crawl. What I mean by this is that starting a business is not glamorous, not even if you have the capital. It is a lot of hard work. It is a lot of learning and giving and thinking and budgeting and pouring and adapting and pivoting and being disappointed and failing and mistaking and all of the rest of it. At the end of the day, if you're a new entrepreneur, we're all just crawling our way through it. We're all just crawling. And I think that if you're starting off, and I think especially if you're starting off with no capital, little capital, it's important to have the right mindset in terms of that, and to just understand that in the beginning it's just going to be a struggle. It's not going to be easy. You're going to be in the mud, crawling going through it, but you must keep crawling. The thing about crawling is that you're still going forward, and at some point the momentum of the crawl will land you into a walk, and then into a run, and then you'll be flying. You need to be willing to go through it, and that's advice for every kind of business owner. So yeah, that's it. Those are my tips for starting a business with little or no money. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Comment below and let me know, how much capital did you have when you started your business, and how did you use it?